Hey Jackal, we'll take a look how to make this Need for Speed kind of transition in DaVinci Resolve. This is what was asked, and this is how the result can look like. Now let's get digital. Now I don't have my own footage, so I found some unpixels and I'll use that. So I have the two clips on the timeline. Ideally, both clips would have the same color, in this case they don't. And what we want to do is first find a position where the whole color is visible and that it looks nice. Maybe I can use something like this. I can use Ctrl R to open the speed change. Freeze frame this section. I'll simply use Ctrl B to cut this section out. And actually, I can just maybe do this with one clip. So I'll use the same color. So this will be frozen. Ctrl R again to see where the cut is. Zoom in. I can cut this section. Ctrl B. So this is now frozen. This can be the beginning. We can maybe close this. Grab this handle and make a fade at the beginning. And now we have to find a section in the video that has some action. Maybe at this point would be okay. I will use Ctrl B to cut this section off. And let's see how long should the clip be. So we have 23 seconds, maybe 28. This will be 5-second long clip. Now what I'll do is use Ctrl R again. Freeze frame. But this time I'll maybe just hold this frame for maybe 10 frames. Adjust the handle. So currently this will look like so. We will now overlap this section. So we have the clip. And then we'll put this clip on top of it. Now what we want to do with this clip is to mask out the color so that the background is not visible. You can do this in a couple of ways. I've done it in the Fusion page, but you can also use the color page to do so. Now in the Fusion page, you only need to do this for one frame, because if you remember, we have frozen the first frame. So on this frame, what I will do is add a polygon to mask out the color. You do need a background node and connect it to the media out. Switch between these two inputs with Ctrl T when the merge node is selected and add a polygon. In the background node, you will set the alpha to 0, and for the polygon, I'll simply disable it so I can see where I have to click to make the mask. But with the polygon selected, you can now make a mask. So simply start clicking to make the mask around the color. You can always come back to make adjustments. Now in this case, I have a line that goes down. I can simply hold Ctrl and click on this handle. I can simply click on this handle and press Ctrl. Okay. So I will have to fix this line. I will do that later. First I will just mask out the main sections of the color. In this case I have this spoiler that I can also mask out, but I don't have to because the animation will be quite fast and most likely it will not be noticeable. But I can also show you how you can do that if you want, or if you have something else on the color that needs to be masked out. Like that. Once you have the selection done, you can fine tune it, click on a point, click Ctrl and adjust the handle. So if you hold Ctrl, this adjusts the handle individually. If you don't hold it, this will position both handles. So Ctrl to position each individual handle. And if you're using a Mac, I think this is Command. Maybe like so. Now, if you would need to cut out this section, we'll add another polygon. I will also hide it for now. Simply make this cut. Unhide both polygons. In the second one, we will have to change the paint mode to subtract to just get this cutout. Now what we have to do is have just the curve visible on the first frame, but on the second one have everything visible. And to do that, you can't just adjust the level in the curve. As you can see, this hides it. You also can't adjust the blend in the merge. So what you have to do is in the polygon, I will keyframe the size. I will do the same for the second polygon. And in the merge node, I will go to settings and keyframe apply mask inverted. Now on the second frame, in this case frame 95, I will check the apply mask inverted. As you can see, we have everything except the curve. So that is why we have to go to the polygons and change the size to 0 to see the curve. Now since I'm in the original clip, as you can see the animation stays, or the video stays, it's not being frozen for the first 6 frames. And now back in the edit page, you can see that we have this cutout for as long as this frame holds. So that is why we only had to do that for frame 1, because this frozen section was made on frame 1. Now what I have done previously, because this is a vertical video and I have a full screen, I've set the zoom to 4, I've set rotation angle, in this case, to -30. Also, you can position the subject to be inside, but also make sure that you don't have any black sections. So maybe something like that. I will do the same for this one. Zoom, rotation -30. And now we'll do the animation. At the beginning, we will position it to the left side. So it's outside the screen. Then at the end, the curve will come in, like so. So let's see, this will be maybe the ending position. Keyframe the value. I will adjust the Y value and then position it to the beginning. And it will be outside of the frame. So this is how the animation will look like. But now as you can see, we have some issue because the video clip is being cut off because of the rotation and position. So maybe from this point on, I will also do an animation on the position and move the clip to the left. So let's see how this looks like. Maybe what I can do is zoom this a little bit so that it pops. And then position it back to scale as 4. Maybe this will help a little bit. I think it does look a little bit better. Now what we can also do is add some effects. So let's see, when does this end? At this point, so the bottom clip only needs to be up to this point. To add some effects on top, we can use an adjustment clip. You will find it under the effects. Type in adjustment and you will put in an adjustment clip. The adjustment clip affects all of the clips that are beneath it. In this case, it will only affect this clip. If I extended this clip to maybe this position, it would also affect this clip, but it would simply not be visible because this one is being displayed. Reduce the duration of it, 5 frames, maybe 6. We can add some motion blur to this. So type in blur, open effects, and let's see where we would want the blur to be. Maybe from this point on, where we have everything visible, and to the end of this clip. Now I have a couple of options. In this case, I don't think the motion blur will actually do anything. As you can see, it does not. So I've simply used the directional blur. Set the blur angle either to 180 or minus 180. You can also adjust it a little bit, something like that. You can adjust the border type. You can replicate it. In this case, it's visible at the end. And on the sides, if you choose the black one. And lastly, what that clip had in the beginning was some camera shake. So I'll simply copy this adjustment clip, remove the directional blur, and maybe I will add this after. Have it be 1 second long. Type in shake. Now I don't know if this is studio only, the camera shake, but this is how you can easily add it if you have this option. I've increased this to 2 seconds so I can slow it down a bit and I can animate it. So I will simply animate these values, scale, speed and motion blur. I can also animate these values. So everything that is above 0 basically. And at the beginning and the end, I'll simply lower all of these values down. So this kind of eases in and eases out. That's it. All that you have to do is to render the effect out. So I can go to playback, render cache, smart, wait for this to cache out, and then simply go to the delivery page and make the final export. And now that it is cached, we can also have a live preview. And this is what the end result can look like for the transition. If you found the video useful and would like to see more DaVinci Resolve content, subscribe to the channel. I'm Simon, and until next time, Jackal, keep it digital.